first time ever filling an AIO radiator. Well, what qualifies me to look at all this? Well, for 3 years, I dosed cooling towers, big industrial type cooling towers used in a smelter, okay, and boilers as well. So I sold chemicals, treatment and service for cooling towers and boilers, water treatment. So that's why I've taken such an interest in this. And I knew that I had to do something, because what happened was the manufacturer told me, you're not allowed to put any additional biocide. You're not allowed to put any additional corrosion inhibitors in the radiator. But please notify us if you have a problem. Hello? The warranty is only for 1 year. And what's going to happen? That's right. I get a replacement, and then the replacement fails. And then I have no AIO. And I spend all that money for it. For nothing, really. So what exactly is the problem? Well, I'll show you. Right here. Now, my monitor is terrible that I'm looking at, so I'm going to shine some light on this. Bear with me. This is the solution that I took out of the AIO, okay? And I only had it for a few weeks. Okay, so it's not an old one. Okay, so this is not a clear solution. Okay, it should be. It has been a month ago that I built the system, okay, and used the AIO for the first time. Should be totally clear. There should be no suspended solids in this solution, but it's cloudy, okay? That means it has suspended solids, and suspended solids are not good. How are suspended solids going to help with your cooling? Okay, so this is the new coolant solution that I put in. Okay. So what are those suspended solids in there, eh? Well, I would have to have it analyzed at a lab. I'd like to have the bacteria, total count of bacteria. Obviously, with the illnesses going around, the labs are to capacity, so even getting the test done might be difficult. I guess it'd be nice to have a metals test done on it. What metals? What metals are in that solution or are suspended solids? So that could be done by just simply filtering it, drying it, and then testing it. So there are so many of these AIOs out there. Okay, and people are getting replacements, and then those replacements are failing. There has been a new version 2 released, but that was released for the launch of Alder Lake. Okay, so these have only been out for a few months, so enough time hasn't passed for us to see whether or not there's a problem. So if your AIO in particular is at idle a lot of the time, it's going to be around the 30-ish, 25 to 40 sort of temperature. Now bacteria just loves 38 and 39 degrees because that's body temperature, and bacteria just flourishes at those temperatures. So if the AIO is sitting at those temperatures, it doesn't have adequate biocide in there. So if it's all sealed up, how can this bacteria grow? Well, you get corrosion on the metallic surfaces. And once the metallic surfaces start corroding, it's just a cycle. Okay, they just feed off each other, the bacteria and the corrosion, the energy. It just cycles around, just feeds itself. It gets worse and worse and worse and worse until you get all this colored gunk, and it blocks up. Because in that water block that's attached to the CPU, there's little teeny tiny fins, very small area to create lots of surface area, but very small spaces divided up. And so the gunk gets all trapped in. And what happens? Temperatures. Well, I've been able to help some people, and it makes it all worthwhile, makes it a lot of fun when I get great comments. So Mark Nathaniel Gonzalez, problem with the 360R for 2 years, and he is just about to open everything up because he went and cleaned his machine, and yeah, high temps, and yeah. Okay, Killa 360R, he left it for 6 weeks, just sitting there, blocked up, high temps. Okay, Frenchie 240R, yep, he had his get high temps as well. And we've got Brain Dead RTOH, and one thing that he's going to do is he is going to submerge the radiator in like a bucket of distilled water. So he's already put in his new coolant solution, and he's doesn't like any air bubbles in there at all. So it sounds like he's gonna just put it into a bucket of distilled water and then let the air bubble up out of it. And then I guess somehow get the screw on while it's underwater. Can be tricky, but yeah, good idea. If you can get it to work, fantastic. Jack R, his 240R lasted 8 months, and he had it top mounted. He said he's going back to another manufacturer. He's so upset by it. Now, I'm not convinced just having the pump in the radiator is the problem. It's the coolant. So, yeah, we just need to be aware of where the pump is and try and have some space above it just in case some air gets created, bubbles get created. And like I said before, gas can get created, bubbles can be created from the bacterial and corrosion. Okay, the cycle and the feeding and everything, and then they create like carbon dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, oxygen, all kinds of gases bubble up and are created that weren't there before, or at least they were dissolved in, and then boom, they come out. You get the sound in the radiator, in the pump. Okay. So if you had a beautiful solution in there with plenty of biocides and corrosion inhibitors, well, interesting to see if bubbles come up into the AIO. You wouldn't think so, but they say there is some permeability within the tubings and all that kind of thing that happen. Mark, Killa, Frenchie, Brain Dead, Jack. You put a nice comment in there, or you need some help or whatever, I'll mention you in the video. I'll try to do that, especially if you subscribe. That's all I ask. So, let me say this again. If mine were to gunk up, stop working, and it's on warranty, well, I'm gonna send that away, get a new unit in. And then what would I do? I would replace that coolant straight away. And when you take the coolant out, have a look at it and maybe keep it, okay? Maybe not throw it out. Keep it away from sunlight. If you can seal it up, okay? It's just the particular bottle is not that great. It's gonna allow a little bit, so I might just wrap it up with saran wrap, but it's gonna have the whatever air is inside that bottle, okay? So many, and I'm getting people on my comments, you know, that starting to take off. Yeah, and I really want to help people because this is such a headache for everybody, such a drama. Okay, it shouldn't be happening. I mean, some manufacturers, they use premium coolant. Will last for a long time. Okay, so your question is, what did I refill it with? Well, I've got 2 videos that show it. Okay, so in video 1, part 1, I explain the problem and the situation I was stuck in. I had to make a decision. I had to do something. Otherwise, if I just leave it, what's going to happen? It's just going to block up and not work. So I did preventative maintenance on it, okay? Which may void the warranty or whatever. But I don't care. I want this thing working. It looks beautiful. I want it working well for years to come. And my new solution is supposed to last at least 5 years, which I think it will last even longer because that's for a 10% solution. And I made a 28%. And if I were to do it again today, I'd make a 40% solution. Get even better cooling. Oh, the more you put in, the better, really, with this stuff, as far as I can tell. So the 240R holds around 140-ish mils. Okay. It's my understanding that the 360R holds around 200. So this is, so in this container, it has a 7-year shelf life. Okay, and it didn't cost me an arm and a leg for this. Okay, it's even came from Great Britain. Okay, and the UK and New Zealand just had a new free trade agreement, so it might even get cheaper in the future. So you can look it up yourself as to what it is and the specs and everything if you'd like. Mayhem's XT-1 Nuke, N-U-K-E, UV Sky Blue Concentrate. Coolant, 100 mils, made in UK. Okay, so that is it. And I don't have any stock in any company. I'm not getting any type of, I have no sponsors. I've never had a sponsor. Getting money from nobody, okay? So I don't care if you buy this or not. It's totally up to you. I'm not going to get a percentage of it. I'm withdrawn from Amazon Associates. I'm only gonna have affiliate links for a couple businesses. One is fanatical.com, which is PC games online and content creation tools and software tools and that kind of thing, which is based in the UK. Okay, so and I haven't sold anything from there. I haven't put any of those affiliate links in the in these videos. Just keep all of that out of it. And then there was a local business which I haven't really been promoting. Why don't I put up Cinebench, okay, with the new cooling solution, and I'll talk a bit more as to what's going on with this tilted PC, okay? As a noob, I changed the radiator for the first time I ever changed the radiator. And as like I said before, as I pulled the bottle away, then liquid started coming out. Because I had a limited amount made up and all that kind of thing, I just capped it off. So there was a few air bubbles in the system. So that is why it's tilted at the moment. I've got a big thick book on Nelson Mandela down there, and he's propping the computer up. All right, and it's stable there right now. And so just as I started up, I did have the camera going, but the microphone wasn't right on the pump. But I could hear little teeny tiny bubbles in there just in the startup. But as it's going, I can't hear it anymore. So it's really improved. So the idea is the bubbles are going to go up here to this end of the radiator. The pump is in the radiator down at this end. Okay, so I do have the radiator tilted a bit, just the way I installed it. And then I went ahead and put the book there, and when the computer's turned off, I tilted it up and back like that. And just sort of by doing that, I was able to get rid of most of the air bubbles there. So all of the MSI RGB, okay, which is here and here, that actually, I plugged that into the wires that go into the fan hub. So there's a fan hub on the, with the Lee & Lee 215, Lee & Lee Landcool 215 case, which was, it's just gorgeous. And it's got heaps of room inside to build, and it's really good quality stuff. My understanding is they contracted having this particular case built by another company because they already had the system set up to build a case just like it, right? So it's quite easy for them to make that design, easier than having Lee & Lee, I guess, do all the Lee & Lee do manufacture their own, absolutely all own cases. But I just want to say, look, it's not an expensive case, and it's gorgeous. 200 millimeter fans, just love that, the way they look. Just a slight breeze comes through on those 200 millimeter fans. They only run at 800 RPMs, and they've got that fan controller, fan and RGB controller inside the Lee & Lee. So all the MSI is plugged into that, and so all of the RGB is synced together there, and you just push a button on the top of the case to change the type of RGB you want. Okay, so there's all kinds of different designs, which I have shown in a previous video, and that would be my build log. So it's not a how to build a computer, it's my experience building a computer. And I've got the 12700K in there, and it is overkill, let me tell you, but I'm rendering videos, and yeah, very quick creating those videos. I was using a 7700 non-K, 4 cores, 8 threads. I can play all the games, but you know, it's just limited. It's limited. And so now let's just check the temps. Current package temperature is 84 to 87 degrees, and it has maxed out at 89 at the moment. After 7 minutes of Cinebench, R23. Oh my gosh, it's going well. When this thing is idle, it's like in the 20s. Temperature, performance core, so my coolest core at the moment is 73 degrees C. With Cinebench R23 stress test after over 10 minutes. Oh, just finished up. The score is 22,557. We've got the Mayhem's XT1 Nuke UV Sky Clear Blue Concentrate. Now, does not matter as far as I know what color you pick. There's all kinds of different colors because you never see the color anyways. This stuff is pretty clear as I showed you. I think with UV light and whatnot, RGB, that would just turn a bit more blue. All right, so we've got the MSI motherboard. It's the Z690 Pro A. So I have nothing against MSI, all right? This is not an anti-MSI video by any means. Occasionally, just about every manufacturer has problems with some of their gear, okay? Manufacturing defects, okay? So MSI had some problems with some thermal issues with some motherboards in the past. They seem to have addressed that. And when current MSI motherboards are tested, I have a look and they've been doing quite well, okay? So, the Pro A, this is the Pro A Wi-Fi, and it's going good. No thermal issues that I have seen, and it's got 4 M.2 slots, 3 Gen 4, 1 Gen 3. At the price range of the Pro A Z690, I don't think you're gonna find another manufacturer that's got those 4 M.2s, okay, at that price. So that is what sold me on this motherboard. I usually go ASUS, but ASUS in their low end, it doesn't have as many features, okay? The specs are a bit lower from what in my opinion, okay? So, went with the motherboard, so far so good. Got nothing bad to say at all about the MSI motherboard. But I don't have to say anything more about the 240R, okay? So there is the second version, like I said, the 240R version 2 and the 360R version 2, which has just been out for a few months. So whether or not the cooling solution issue has been fixed in there, I don't know. It's basically a new version to go with Alder Lake. So, buyer beware, okay? So, it looks as if, I have no idea what the cooling solution is in the version 2. So, whether you replace that fluid with this, a dilution of this, and you get better results, you'll have to do it for yourself. I'm not going to guarantee anything, okay? Anything you do or don't do is at your own risk. I'm just showing you what I do, okay? And what I've done, and talk about that, what works for me, all right? So, got a Bachelor of Science degree in chemistry. I'm doing chemistry on my channel. I've got over 150 videos. And this is the first time that we've looked at the chemistry. So, very interesting. Okay, I'm enjoying it. Thanks for joining us here on PC Gaming Tech Summary. And don't forget, you'll be seeing me in the next video.